Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Photography Tips and Tricks, your show for gear, tips, tricks, inspiration, hardware, software, anything that you need to make your photography go to the next level. My name is RC, and this week we're talking about light stands. It's one of those things that usually gets relegated to the back burner. Everybody talks about cameras and flashes and scrims and all that stuff, but what you hold your lights on is invaluable. And we got a couple of techniques to make sure that you make the maximum amount of use out of your light stands. Now, all of this was inspired by Mr. Pete Collins. He's got a great tip on things that he does with his light stands to be able to, well, I'll let him do it. So what do you got for us, Pete?
All right, thanks, RC. Well, the whole thing is we love light stands. They're so invaluable in our shooting because they hold our flashes, our reflectors, other things. But it can be a little bit of a problem when you have an uneven terrain. Let's say you need to set up your light stand and there's something like stairs or a hill or something like that. Immediately, you're going to have a center of gravity issue and this is going to want to fall over. There's an easy way to fix this. Take one of your light stands and just get a drill and pop out one of these rivets. Now, if you're handy, then just drill a couple more holes in it up and down the leg here. Now, I would recommend not doing this first thing in the morning when you're a little bit sleepy, or you'll get holes like I have here, and it looks like I was a drunken driller as I did this. But it's very simple just to pop a few holes in it. Then you just simply get a bolt and a wing nut, and now you're going to be able to take this, pop this out, move these up, adjust them, put the bolt back in, and you're going to be ready to tackle anything that comes along. Let's say I have to set this up for a wedding shoot, and I've got the bride and groom on this great set of stairs, but I need to get the light a little closer. Well, the good news is now I can take this and rotate this up, so it's going to set on the stairs exactly how I want, and it's going to keep a nice vertical line, keep all the weight in the center, and it's going to handle it quite easily. So in just a couple, this took about 5 minutes to do, but now I have a stand that's ready to go wherever I go, and it's going to get me out of those tough jams that normally I would have to shoot around. So quick, easy, it's going to be a lifesaver. Once you need it and you have it, you're going to love it.
Now, that's one of the things that I think is really, really cool. A lot of the times when you're shooting in remote locations, portability and accessibility are absolutely key. So these little things matter when you need to get that shoot. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about this stand and why I carry this stand with me everywhere that I go. You'll find out after this.
Hi everyone, we are the Photoshop Guys. I'm Corey Barker.
And I'm Pete Collins.
And today we're here to talk about a very special offer for Knapp and Kelby training members. Wacom Industries is offering their Intuos 5 medium tablet for $50 off. This is exclusive for Knapp and Kelby training members, and this offer is good till June 23rd.
And what's amazing about this is the best price you can get this anywhere. Yep. It's just for our members, and that's pretty exciting.
That's right, and the price is normally $349, and with this offer, it is now $299. Now, where do you find out how to get this discount? Now, go to your member site, go to the discount section, and find out your coupon code, or check your email. Chances are, you've got an email right now that has a coupon code right there waiting for you. So be sure to check that out. Go to Wacom.com, to the online store, and get your Intuos 5 medium.
Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks. RC here. Now, I want to talk to you about this impact light stand in a second. But before I do, I wanted to make sure that we get Tamara Lackey in here. Tamara Lackey is a phenomenal photographer that deals with portraitures, specifically of children. And she's got some great posing tips that you're going to want to see. Take a look.
Everybody, Mac Laskowski here on the set of D-Town with Tamara Lackey once again. And if you're feeling like we've had her on the show a lot, I know how you feel. Just like, come on, leave already. No, I'm just teasing.
I don't want to.
Tamara Lackey, and for anybody that's just joining us, we've had you on the show a couple of times, but portrait photographer, author, host of the show Redefine, and many other things. I had a good tip on stuff. Photography, this photography stuff.
Yes.
No, we were talking before the show. We were talking about some thoughts you had on making people feel more comfortable.
Yes.
So what you got?
Like comfortable clothes, like sweatshirts.
Just a big hoodie.
Sweatpants. No, one of the things I
those
think.
wrestling pants, remember those?
Like the, what's the guy? Who's the guy, the rapper? MC Hammer.
Yes, yes,
Those are even
yes.
better. Okay.
Everybody should wear, your client should wear MC Hammer pants and hoodies.
That's a dress code I have on my website.
Tip from Tamara Lackey.
That's not my tip. That's
Tweet
not my
it
tip.
now.
My tip was actually more cerebral, which is that when you're photographing portraits of individuals or groups, to think about the fact that most people aren't photographed every day. And even we photographers will go long periods of time without being photographed ourselves, correct? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes you forget how awkward it feels when this big crazy lens is pointing at your face and you suddenly feel like all your self-consciousness is magnetized and magnified, not magnetized, magnified. Although maybe
Magnificized.
Magnificentized.
Yes.
And so I think it's really good practice to make yourself get photographed every so often, just so you can retain the level of empathy and not just take for granted that they're going to sit there like the perfect model and not take anything to heart. So if you're fiddling with your camera and you're checking the back and you're saying things like, that didn't go very well, to realize there's a very good chance that they're hearing, you are so horrible looking, I can't get anything of you, and I even have this nice expensive camera.
Yeah.
So nailing your technical skills is obviously, I think, mandatory, but it's even more so when you think about putting your clients at ease, so that isn't something that you constantly have to refer to or check or look at. Like, you just know it, so you can just be all here.
That's a really good point, because I was just about to say, we've talked about this before too, that people concentrate so much on the technical part that they forget the interactive part. You know, RC Concepcion, who's one of the co-hosts of the show here, I've always thought that about RC. You know, he's obviously he's got his technical skills mastered, but when I watch him behind the camera and I watch him interact with people, that only comes from practice too. I mean, and the only way to do that, and RC's really good at it, the only way to do that is you got to be photographing a lot of people, and you got to be out there practicing it, because it's never going to come any other way, and it's such an important part. You're never going to get that killer photo if you've just mastered the technical skills.
Right.
You've got to have that other part, but your point brings it back around where you need to master the technical skills so that you're not fiddling around with your dials.
Right, right. And especially when you realize what your client wants. Like, if you're shooting for a commercial client and the goal is to sell this product or do this, that's what the goal is. When you're shooting for a paying family or an individual wants to have their children photographed, your goal is to get them to feel something and to connect to it and have an experience and have a recognition. And that's so much about interaction.
Yeah, and they'll like the photo better in the end because they'll know that they had a good time.
And they'll buy it.
A good time, and they'll buy it, and it's even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a really good point too, because I know I've been on the other side of the camera, and when you see somebody doing this, the only thought that goes through your head is, oh my God, I look horrible. Oh, I gotta look horrible. Oh God, why are they making that face? They're making that face because I look horrible. Now that is what's going through their head when they see the photos of me. But no, I mean, those are the thoughts that go through people's head, especially if you're not talking to them.
Right.
What else do they have to think about?
Yeah, and especially if it's something where you're one-on-one, I think it's even more pronounced if it's a one-on-one portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's silence.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. People want to find out more about you?
I have a website.
It's right here.
TamaraLackey.com.
Tamara.
No, it's over here.
Okay.
And
you had to write that down, didn't you?
It's the same thing on Twitter and Instagram and Google+, but on Facebook it's Tamara Lackey Photography.
Cool. And if we go to your website, I'm sure we can find links to all that cool stuff on there.
Yes, that's still true.
And books, DVDs, you got stuff out there?
I do. I have, my newest book is Envisioning Family. And I have Inside Contemporary Children's Photography, which is a DVD I did, a 90-minute DVD that basically shows shoots in a home and on location and the studio. And I have a couple other things as well.
Cool. Redefine Show?
Yes, redefineshow.com.
Sweet. I love the names here.
Thank you.
It works really well.
Thank you.
Tamara, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it. We'll shake
new.
hands as if this is goodbye.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the day will have to come this
going.
season. Guys, she's great. Go check her out online. Stop watching this and go check her out. Take care.
Hey everybody, Photography Tips and Tricks, RC here. I want to kind of pick up where Pete left off with the light stand thing, because I thought it was a great idea. A lot of the times, if you're out doing location shooting on small speed light stuff, you want to make sure that you don't have to carry 1,000 different things to get to a shoot, right? It's no fun carrying everything to try to get there and looking like a pack mule. So the choices that you make in the gear are absolutely essential when you're doing that kind of stuff. So Pete's tip on having something that can kind of move around was great. I wanted to share with you one of the light stands that I carry with me everywhere. And I try to keep this for a dual purpose. So this is an Impact 3218 stand. And the stand is available on B&H. I just want to show you here real quick where we have the stand. Yeah, let's take a look. So the stand is a multi-boom light stand and reflector holder, 13 feet, and it's available there at B&H. So that's the stand that I use. Now, I don't want to just keep a stand. I wanted it to make sure that it was a reflector holder. Why do I care? Well, the first thing is obviously it can work as a stand, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll take this and I'll set it up just as a regular stand. But there's a center section that sits right here with this knob and an extension right here. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to kind of pull this out, and as you pull this out, it turns in, and now you can use this to hold a reflector. So that's pretty straightforward, right? There's nothing that's there. That's not a problem. But when you need it to hold a reflector, right, you can just pull up a reflector. Now, the reflector that I use is usually these right here, Lastolite, and they have tri-grips. Now, it's better than just circular reflector for one thing. If I were using a reflector just on this, it's pretty straightforward, right? I could grab this, move this down to this one section, and I can have this clip hold on to the reflector. Now, what I'll do as a tip is I'll leave this nut open so that it moves up and down and around until I get everything secure. So I'll grab my second reflector, or my second clip, I'll leave that open, and I make sure that I clip this in. Once it's clipped in, and I know exactly where it is, the back locks, and then now that I know that it's not moving, the tops will then lock. All right, so now it's in one spot. So if I need to be able to allow some sort of light to be able to fall back onto a subject, that's okay. I can turn on this knob and kind of pivot it and get it exactly where I want. Well, you're probably asking yourself at that point, well then why get a tri-grip? Well, you can't always assume that you're going to be able to set this up, right? If you sit inside of a small space and you need to be able to work by yourself and you don't have the time to set up a stand, you want to be able to hold it out. And not having your hand on it, I think, is a really, really good thing. So you can get out there, you can take a picture, you can go ahead and you can hold it and articulate it. So it gives you the best of both worlds. And I think that that's the part that's responsible when you're doing this kind of stuff. Now, I knew that was going to happen. So they never stay down, right? It never happens. But so now you have this reflector, right? That's good. But the fact that it's a light stand as well really does offer you a lot of versatility, because you can take this out and take a look. I'm going to bring this up. Now, so I'm 5'11", 6 feet, around there, right? Take this one out. This goes way past the camera screen. You can't even see it. So you have something that's really, really high, but more importantly, you have something right here that's articulating. So it's not just a straight light that goes in one point and you're only counting on the angle of the flash. You can move this around. You can move this up, down. If you need it to be a hair light, you can get it up and across something. So having that kind of versatility is key. There's two things that you can do to this. You'll see that at the end of the light stand here, there's a small thread. That small thread, you can screw on an SB900 580EX foot, have the foot there, then put a flash on it. Or what I like to carry with me is these. Right? So these are from Lastolite as well. It's the Joe McNally 3-in-1, right, flash holder, because a lot of the times if you get outside and you need to be able to kind of get a little bit more light, I'm going to throw more than one flash in here. One flash, two flashes, three flashes. An umbrella holder, it goes right in here. And the cool part about it is these things can articulate and move around. So I can send light in different directions should I need it to. So the key with this is to be able to get out there and go, all right, well, now I need a light that's going to articulate and it's going to move around. I'll tie that in, put my flashes on here, and then send this wherever I want. in any direction that I want. If I need it to be a reflector, pull this off, now I have a reflector. So you have things that are pulling more than one job and occupy a lot less space in your bag, letting you get the shot that you want. Now, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got some prizes and a website to watch. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Mia McCormick. As a photographer, you've dedicated yourself to learning your gear and learning your art to make great images. You're excited about leveraging all of the tools the internet has to offer to share your work with the world. The problem is, there are people and companies out there who want to use your work, but they don't want to compensate you for it. Your best defense is to become well-versed in the world of copyright, especially when it comes to protecting your images online. Join me as I talk with two of the best minds in copyright for photographers, commercial photographer Jack Resnicki and New York intellectual properties attorney Ed Greenberg. Together, we tackle the subject of copyright from start to finish in front of a live studio audience. From a live demo of registering images to strategies on how to use social media to your benefit, artistically and financially. It's not as hard as it seems, and it's all right here at kelbytraining.com.
Welcome back, everybody. RC here at Photography Tips and Tricks. Now, we have a special Peach Pit ebook deal for you, so I want to make sure that we mention that. So it's from our friends over at Peach Pit, and you can save over 40% off of this week's deal for Kelby TV viewers. Now, this week we're having the Sony NEX6, and normally that's $19.99. It's 40% off, and now it is at $11.99 for that ebook. Make sure you go to the Peach Pit website and put in the code KelbyTV. Now, this is only going to last for a couple more days. It expires on June 15th, so you want to make sure that you can take advantage of that immediately. Now, contest time. What do I want you to do? I want you to go over to the Kelby TV site. And at the Kelby TV site, I want you to find Photography Tips and Tricks. That's that show right there on the right. Obviously, take a look at the other ones, but that's the show that I want you to go to. Go to Photography Tips and Tricks, and I want you to find this episode, so episode number 28. Once you get that episode, I want you to go all the way down to the bottom of the comments and leave us a comment. So I'm going to go ahead and find a show here. I'll show you just how to do it. I'm going to go over, let's just say that this is the show. You'll go right here to this one section, scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's a lot of comments, right? Go over here, put in your name, put in your email, put in your website. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us how we're doing. Give us some feedback if you want to see something on this show. This is your show. Now, one of you guys is going to win this book. I'm really excited to be able to have it here. This is Photography Q&A by Zach Arias. Zach Arias' long-awaited book is out now, and I just want to show you something. Here on the Amazon.com website, it's already a #1 bestseller. So it's a phenomenal book where he breaks down real questions that people have sent him on the concept of photography. And it's a very, very straightforward approach. If you're not familiar with Zach Arias, he really is one of those people who kind of takes a very everyman approach to his phenomenal photography. So he's an artist, and he really breaks it down for you straight. That book, I think, is going to be an absolute hit and essential for your photography. So you can win it. One of you guys is going to be picked and win this book by Mrs. Zach Arias. Now, the website for you to watch, obviously, if we have his book, I'm going to point you over to his website as well, zacharias.com. This is where you could find portraits, the things that he does, image editing, projects in progress, mostly dudes in bands. He does a lot of music photography as well out of Atlanta. And I was just out there with him, actually. He's doing some classes for Kelby Training that'll be here soon. But if you want to kind of catch up with him, get to know the project that he was doing with the book, make sure you go to zacharias.com. Now, it's been a lot of information for this week, but I sure hope that you come in next week. My name's RC, and I'll see you guys soon.